I'm late to the party this month, but I wanted to come on and talk about historical fiction books publishing in March that I think you're going to want to know about. Check it out. Up first from William Morrow is The Boxcar Librarian by Brianna Lebusque. This is publishing on March 4th. It is the story of a young woman who, as part of her WPA assignment, she goes to Montana where she is assigned to the American Guide series. It's like a travel book series that was designed to help put people back to work. Well, when she gets there, she meets the mysterious librarian who helped to stand up the Missoula Boxcar Library, which was a real thing. There's a secret and a mystery involved having to do with the librarian. Apparently 2 librarians went out and only 1 came back. So there's a mystery around what happened to that other librarian. Up next is one of the books that I legit cannot wait to get my hands on. This is One Good Thing by Georgia Hunter. This is publishing on March 4th from Viking Penguin. And it is a World War II novel about 2 best friends who live in northern Italy, and as the war progresses and the Nazis invade northern Italy, they are identified as being inferior due to Jewish heritage. They need to go on the run, and first they go to the countryside, then they go to a convent. Eventually disaster strikes, and one of the friends asks the other to take her son and flee to Allied territory. I think this is gonna be my very first Susanna Kersley. I know a lot of people love her work, but The King's Messenger is coming out on March 4th from Source Books Landmark. This is the story of the messenger for King James, who's being sent to Scotland to deliver a message to arrest a local nobleman. However, he has secrets of his own. Apparently he has second sight. With his second sight, he identifies that he would be framing an innocent man if he were to do that. The Girl from Greenwich Street by Lauren Willig, out on March 4th from William Morrow, sounds like the perfect combination of thriller, mystery, and historical fiction. This is based on a true story, love that, and it's about a young woman who mysteriously dies. Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton, political rivals, have to work together to solve the mystery of what happened to her. It's billed as Law and Order 1800. How fun is that? The Undoing of Violet Claiborne by Emily Critchley also comes out on March 4th by Source Books Landmark, and it sounds like a really cool gothic novel. It's about a young woman who's away at boarding school, and it sounds like she's kind of the lonely loner type. And then she becomes transfixed by this new girl who comes to the boarding school, befriends her, and kind of gets ensnared by her and her sister when she visits their home. Historical romance lovers, listen up. The Trouble with Anna by Rachel Griffiths. This comes out on March 4th from Gallery, and I think this is gonna have that edge and steam that some of you may enjoy. It's billed as kind of a fun, flirty, modern take on the historical romance, perfect for fans of Bridgerton. It's all about a young woman whose grandfather's will stipulates that she must marry. She's pretty headstrong, but she's willing to do what she's got to do because she'll go broke if she doesn't marry. The trouble is, she's pretty troublesome. She's kind of attracted to troublesome men. Stone Angels by Helena Rowe also comes out on March 4th from Grand Central Publishing. It's a story of a woman, I'm assuming a Korean American woman, whose mother's untimely death kind of sends her reeling. She's trying to figure out why her mother made the choice to take her own life. She wants to go to her mother's home country, Korea, to learn more about her mother. And in doing so, she learns a secret that her mother never told her. Her mother had a sister who disappeared during the Japanese occupation of Korea. It's told from the perspective of all 3 women, and it sounds like a mother-daughter story, a sister story, and it's full of loss and grief. Up next, The Jackal's Mistress by Chris Bohjalian. This comes out on March 11th from Doubleday. It's a Civil War era novel about a woman whose husband is away fighting in the war in support of the Confederacy. She is left with her family on this kind of farm homestead. One day, an injured Union soldier shows up. What does she do? Next is The Antidote by Karen Russell. This comes out on March 11th. It's from Knopf, and I'm not sure if this is going to be for everybody. It is a Dust Bowl story about a fictional town in which there is a prairie witch who collects everyone's kind of memories and secrets. So it's got a lot of different characters, and it opens on what's called Black Sunday, which is historic day. Really, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of Northwoods, which wasn't my favorite book, but it was a unique way of telling a story. The Californians by Brian Castleberry comes out on March 11th from Mariner, and this is a dual timeline that has a 2024 element. A young man has just lost everything in a Northern California wildfire, and he steals 3 famous paintings from his father's home that he's gonna sell, make money, and start over. 100 years before, there is a German Jewish immigrant who kind of restyles himself as a filmmaker and bursts onto the Hollywood scene and makes a name for himself. Tying all this together is the artist of those paintings that were stolen and the link between the two men. Map to Paradise by Susan Massignier. This comes out on March 18th from Berkeley, and it's a 1950s Hollywood noir. A former Hollywood A-lister who's been blacklisted. Life is on hold. Her only friend is her housekeeper. Meanwhile, her kind of quirky, weird neighbor, who's an agoraphobic and never leaves the home, up and disappears. And the 2 women are left trying to figure out what happened to him. This is the only March book that I've actually read, and I am begging you to please read this book. The Fisherman's Gift by Julia Kelly. This comes out on March 18th from Simon & Schuster. It is stunning. This is a turn of the 20th century novel about a small Scottish fishing village. One day, a young boy washes onto the shore, and he's placed into the care of a woman whose young son, many years before, had been lost to the sea. Oddly, the young boy looks just like her lost son. So it awakens all these emotions in her. These Days by Lucy Caldwell, published by Zando on March 18th. I cannot wait to get my hands into this book. It is a World War II novel, takes place in 1941 in Belfast, which, if you did not know, took a lot of bombing. It's about 2 young sisters who are living amongst the rubble, trying to navigate the cultural norms and expectations. It involves the whole community, and it just sounds so good. I cannot wait to read this. The Story She Left Behind by Patty Callahan Henry, publishing on March 18th by Atria. It is about a young girl whose mother suddenly disappears. Well, come to find out, her mother had invented the secret language and written a book in the secret language and was working on a sequel when she just up and disappears. Flash forward many years, the young girl's now grown with a daughter of her own, and she gets contacted by a man who says, I think I found a dictionary that can translate your mother's secret language. She heads off to London to meet this man with her daughter in tow. It's there that she gets to discover what happened to her mother. The Paris Express by Emma Donoghue. This publishes on March 18th as well from Simon & Schuster, and it is about the very real true story of the Paris Express disaster of 1895, which was captured in a series of surreal photographs. It features a full cast set on the train, and it's propulsive and exciting and exhilarating, and it's described as encapsulating the glitz and glamour and politics and chaos of the end of the 19th century. The Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones publishes on March 18th from Saga Press. It is a Native American revenge story, and it's all about the diary of a Lutheran priest who details this massacre and chain of events that involves the death of 217 Blackfeet men and women. But Not Broken. This is by Mary Monroe. It comes out March 25th from Kensington. It's all about a young woman who marries a man that she thought was this really upstanding guy. Come to find out, he's not. Ends up in it sounds like an emotional affair with another man, and she's about to run away and start a new life of her own, and her husband has a debilitating stroke, and it changes everything. Fans of Southern historical fiction, The Song of the Blue Bottle Tree by India Hayford publishes on March 25th by Kensington. It is all about a young woman who is a snake handler who also can see ghosts, who through her travels ends up back at her grandmother's farm in Arkansas. There she meets this downcast Vietnam vet, and the two hit it off. And through her connection with him, she discovers things about her family history that she did not know. Was this helpful? I hope so. I'm sorry it's so late this month. I'll do better next month. It's just been crazy at work. As always, if you want first dibs on this, head over to the link in my bio and sign up for my newsletter.